Welcome back to the Think Inspired podcast with your boy, Coach Pat. I'm with a very, very special guest. My biggest fan right now, the number one student. A lot of people are going to get people pissed off with that statement. But Faith's now rock star student, rock star coach. She is absolutely crushing her program right now, and I'm here to share her gains. Now, she's been on this podcast before, so we're doing a recap. It's like part 2 of the Faith series. All right, so this title is called Have Faith featuring Faith.
Love it.
Welcome back, girl.
Thank you for having me. It's awesome to be here.
Good. I want to switch gears because, you had a very interesting morning and we want to light this thing up. So
do it.
Talk to me, girl. You did a interview with head coach Carl like a few months ago, but now it's been a few months later and we want to recap. So tell us a little bit about your journey since you joined the Dream Team Academy, and for people that don't know who you are, what struggles did you have before you joined our team?
So basically, before I joined the DTA, I did a lot of posts about this before. I used to struggle with an eating disorder. So I was doing I was struggling with anorexia. I was struggling with bulimia for a little bit. And I was actually I don't talk about this a lot, but I was still struggling with the restrictive part of the eating disorder, right up until I joined actually. And it was hard because when I joined, I was learning on how to eat more food and things like that. But since I joined, I've made really good progress. So I started under Coach Ronnie, and I was still learning how to eat more. I was still scared to eat more than 1,200 calories a day. So having him was awesome because he really talked me through it and just helped me get on the path to where I am now. And now I'm not scared of calories at all. This is not scared of it at all. So that's huge for me because I was still struggling with that beforehand. Before I joined the DTA, just extremely restricting, excessive cardio. It was a mess.
Okay, so you've been through a lot, and now here you are. The whole eating disorder is for a lot of people out there, they struggle with this, right? And it's not something that we should gloss over. It's a serious issue, and I feel like people don't have the tools or the the education on how to navigate through that. So for you, you obviously started with Coach Ronnie, and now we're coaching you, me and Ronnie are coaching you together. So tell us a little bit about some of the, you mentioned 1,200 calories before. How much calories are you eating now, and what do you feel the difference is between what you're doing before versus 5 weeks in since we started together?
So honestly, before I was scared to eat over 1,200 calories. Right now I'm sitting at 1,850 calories. My goal is right now to be gaining muscle and also leaning out at the same time. My energy is through the roof. I feel my energy has just gone up crazy. And I'm a pretty vibrant person, but before I was not at all. I had no energy at all. I just didn't feel good. It was actually to the point because I talk a lot about I was scared to eat over 1,200 calories, but I actually had some days where I was eating 300 to 500 calories a day. My fingernails were purple. I couldn't leave the house without a hoodie on. It was bad. And then I learned to not be scared of eating food. Literally, I feel everything has changed. I have so much energy all the time. I'm not afraid of carbs. Okay, it's a carb. Why are we scared of carbs? Okay, I don't know why I was scared of them before, but I'm not anymore. And I'm just not scared of eating food. And I find my lifts have gone up insane. I am spontaneously making personal bests. I spontaneously squat 145 pounds the other day for 6 reps. I wouldn't have been able to do that before. So that's huge.
145 pounds for the people watching at home. That's a plate this size. It's 60 kilograms, and she's doing it from reps. And I watch her form and technique. It's getting better every fucking week is a PB. And I like to think with your proper structured training protocols that we've given you, you're going to hit PBs all year. For the next 6 months, everything's going to be PB.
Love it.
Now, enjoy the roller coaster ride because fitness is a crazy game. As you get deeper and deeper and deeper into this fitness journey, you'll start realizing there's different levels. So I'm so happy for you. I'm so also brings me back to my first year of training. And I'm fuck, I remember when everything felt fun. Everything was new. Everything was shiny. Everything was fresh. It's really fucking cool. And I'm so glad to be able to coach you throughout this experience and get you on a narrow path to okay, stick with this structure. And I feel that's where you found most success. Now, you did mention you're eating 1,850 calories as opposed to what you were before, which is 1,200. You mentioned energy levels. For some people that are watching at home, what do you mean by energy levels increasing? What does that actually look like?
For me, energy levels, when I was eating like not enough calories at all, I would take multiple naps throughout the day. Like I couldn't get, like I would get up, maybe like I would do my excessive cardio, maybe stay up for a little bit, and then I would crash like 2-3 times a day. I was always cold all the time. Caffeine, I still have a lot of caffeine now, but like back then that was my sole energy. That was it. Like all my energy was coming from caffeine. I was just constantly napping. I couldn't lift as much. It's funny because I was watching a video of me the other day squatting my form was terrible, but I was squatting a 10-pound dumbbell and I was struggling. So it's crazy to see, like, I didn't have the energy to do that. And now 60 kilograms for the Australians and 140 pounds for if you're in North America, I'm squatting that. Like, that's insane.
It's kind of insane. And it has a lot to do with the fact that you're eating a lot more food and you're transferring the food that you're eating into your exercise. And it's fucking awesome. I feel like a lot of people coming out of high school and like, just like people that are new to the gym, what happens is like, they want the skinny look, but skinny is not strong.
Yeah. I wanted the skinny look too. And what ended up happening too, right, is I wanted like the skinny toned look and I ended up getting the skinny fat look.
Interesting. And like you obviously getting qualified as a coach and like coaching right now. Let me ask you, like, what have you found like the big difference is, like, now that you're feeling strong, like you were skinny fat before, but now you're like strong and you got muscle and you're toning up, your butt's like grown over the last few weeks. Like talk to us about that, like the education behind it and like what you've learned.
Like from like what I've learned from like actually seeing like the muscle gains and like seeing like the glute gains, it's just like, one, you have to trust the process, because I was so scared. I wanted, the big thing too that I was like restricting a lot is I wanted like the instant gratification and I wanted like to get to my goals immediately. I had no patience with my goals. I didn't understand how to actually put on muscle and that food was fuel. I always thought food was the enemy. I was always doing my best to avoid it throughout the entire day. I thought it was the enemy, but now I understand that food is fuel. And even like through coaching and like the bit of the program that I've done so far, I've actually had girls reaching out to me saying like, look, like I'm so scared to eat like this amount of calories. And I'm like walking them through it and I'm really explaining it. And it's helped me too, because, you know, sometimes like when you struggle, like it's still always there in the back of your mind, right? You're going to have days where you're good. You're going to have days where you're bad, but like eventually like you're just going to move past it. And I moved past it, but you know, sometimes you have those days, and just like being able to walk those girls through what they're going through, knowing that I was there too, is huge. Like it makes me feel so good, because I didn't have that support. Like I didn't have that support. It was like having someone to talk to, and I didn't feel comfortable talking. Like when you're struggling, like talking about it is just like the worst thing ever. It feels terrible and you don't have that support. So knowing that I can be there for those girls and kind of teach them the proper process to getting the results that they want, because I know they don't want to be skinny fat. They want the toned muscle look. So I made the wrong mistakes before, and now I want to show them how to do it the right way before they get trapped into what I was.
That's fucking cool. Like it's an evolution. And let me talk to you about, like, you know, we've been working for about, you know, together for a few months. What sort of results have you seen, like, that's like been like the most outstanding for you?
The most outstanding is just, honestly, the most outstanding results. One, I feel a lot more confident. Like I know that always is going to come along when you're working on yourself. That has been like a huge thing for me. I feel so much more confident. But I think like the biggest thing with like working in the DTA is like fitness is going to be something I'm doing for the rest of my life now. Like this is going to be my career for the rest of my life. And I honestly think that if I didn't start here and I didn't have the support and like the guidance that I had, that I wouldn't be on the path that I am right now. To one, building my dream physique. I'm not stopping until I get there. And two, doing this for the rest of my life and helping other girls have the same results so that they can feel the same way I did. I know what it feels like to feel like absolutely terrible and like hate the way that you look and hate your body. And I'm like out of there. Like I'm on the path to feeling amazing. And I know that I'm going to be able to help so many other girls do that. And I am right now. Yeah.
For all the girls out there that are listening to this podcast, and like we do have like a mainstream audience, like we've got guys, we've got parents, we've got like nurses, we've got people coming out of school, we've got people that are like in their 40s, you know, struggling to get back to the person who they used to be before having kids. This applies to every single person. Like confidence is a huge part of life. I mean, if you don't like what you see in the mirror, you're going to walk outside your house. You're not going to be your best version of you. You're going to be timid. You're going to be shy. You're going to be like walked on, like you're going to be verbally stepped over. You know, you're going to be in a room where you're just being bullied, like verbally bullied. And like your voice, like you ever talk and no one hears you. Like you're saying a lot, but not saying anything. It has no punch to it. And I feel like muscle and strength and confidence that happens from like the groundwork of working out and like seeing those results and seeing your body grow and seeing growth in general. I mean, like that's your epitome of that. So that's fucking awesome. So outside of fitness, outside the gym, like how has this translated into like everyday life, like your confidence, the fact that you're a lot stronger now that you like are educated on the fact that you're eating more food and food is fuel, like how has that translated outside like fitness for you?
Like outside of fitness, it changes. Like when you know that you're working on yourself and you're like gaining that confidence, you hold yourself at a different level, right? So when you're not confident, like no matter where you are, whether you're in the gym, whether you're at the grocery store, like it doesn't matter. You hold yourself differently when you're confident. Confidence is like a huge thing in life. And some people are like, you know what? You have to be happy with your body the way you are. And all for that. If that's something you want to do, you can do it. But if you want to make a change, because having that confidence is going to improve your life quality so much. Okay. You get to walk around like, I did this. Like, this is how I look. You just hold yourself in a different way. Like if you're going for a job application and you're confident in who you are, you're confident in the way that you look, you're going to go nail that application. But if you're insecure, again, you don't like what you see in the mirror, and you're timid, you're not going to hold yourself to the best version of you. And this honestly applies to everything. It applies being in the gym, to your jobs. It applies to your entire life, which is why fitness isn't just like this quick 3-month diet or this like quick 3-month thing. Like if you commit to fitness and you want to get where you want to get, it's a journey. It's for the rest of your life. Fitness is something that should never be dropped. It's something you should always keep in mind and always be working towards.
We work with a lot of real estate agents and they always come and talk to me about, hey, my record year is like making 45 sales in the year for real estate. And a lot of them struggle with around the fitness journey. And the reason why is because they think work comes first. Like, oh, I need to work more. There's not enough hours in a day. Motherfucker, we all have 168 hours in the week. It's not about the hours that you do work. It's about the quality of hours you do work. If you're in the gym for 2-3 hours and you ain't doing shit, I mean, that's going to play an example of everything else that you do. It's like being a jack of all trades, but a master of none. If you master your fitness journey and build some like real discipline there, some real like hard work there, some like, man, the last thing I want to do is do this fucking squat or this leg press right now. The last thing I want to do is do a double drop set on this hack squat, but I have to fucking do it. But if I do this, I can do anything.
Exactly. The discipline you build in the gym gets built in the rest of your life. You have that discipline in the gym. You're going to take it out to your job. You're going to take it out to your goals. You're going to take it out to your family, your relationships. It's not something that when you're working on yourself, like, I'm building the discipline in the gym. It's going to rub off in the rest of your life in a good way.
It's like, you talk about relationships and family. I mean, some of the conversations we don't want to have, we have to have it. Some of the things that we want to do for our loved ones, we don't want to do it, but they need us right now. And like, they would be very appreciative, maybe not today, but one day. And like, that's really nice too. And it all comes from that D word. Like discipline is the magic word to everything. And like the caveat to this is like discipline and fitness is fucking fun too. Like with me and Carl were at the hack squat rack, and he's like, hey man, I want to do a quadruple drop set on the hack squat. I'm like, I know what this is. I know what you're about to do. Like I used to do like, not even quadruple drop sets. Like I don't even know the word for it. Like on the leg press, we put 20 plates on, like 20 plates on the leg press. And the goal was to do 20 reps every set until there's one plate on the leg press.
Wow.
So we're doing like 200 reps and like, it's fucking fun. And like, some nerd at home could be sitting there like, oh, that's not really good for muscle growth and hypertrophy. I'm like, my life is not about structure every single time of the day. Every now and then, if one of my boys is like, all right, this is what we're going to fucking do. We're going to do push-ups to failure. Last one standing wins. I'm like, that's fun.
It's about having fun with it too, right? Like your fitness journey, the structure helps, but like do things that are fun, like challenge yourself. And then that's also going to pay off too. Because you have like those weeks where you're like, oh, I really pushed myself this week, and it's going to pay off. You're going to see it the next week, but have fun with it because you're supposed to enjoy the process.
Yeah. And like working with you, really realizing like, oh my God, like she's going to kill it if we keep making it fun, and she's going to have more variety. And like she's being introduced into fitness in a way where it's like fun, exciting, new gains all the time.
Newbie gains
all the fucking time. That's where it is. Like, when Carl was doing the quadruple drop set, he did 20 reps, take a rep, weight off, 20 reps. He was dying. Like today he was walking, and it's like, he's got mad DOMs from that, just drops from that itself. And that comes from challenge. Yeah. A lot of people go through life on a fitness journey or even in their career, but they have no challenge. Like everything's hard. Everything's hard because I have no goals. Just like doing the bare minimum is so difficult because your standards are so minimal.
Yeah. You have to challenge yourself. Like when it comes to things, you have to push yourself outside of your comfort zone. If you don't go outside of your comfort zone, you're never going to grow. You're going to be stuck in the same place if you're not pushing yourself to try new things, do things that make you uncomfortable. If you're uncomfortable doing something new, that's probably a good thing.
Yeah, exactly right. So talk to us a little bit about let's give some of our listeners some like really good value that they can take home. When it comes to diet and nutrition, like talk to us about some of the foods that you've been eating recently that have helped you, feel strong in the gym, feel more confident, like shape your glutes, and just feel like not skinny fat anymore. Like what type of foods are you eating and like what resonates with you?
Protein is so important. You guys probably hear this 100,000 times, but protein. My favorite foods are honestly, the thing is too, I know when we started off, I was actually eating too much protein. I had too much protein in my diet because a lot of the foods that I eat are super high protein. And that's important too when you're trying to build muscle. But honestly, the ones that have been making me feel stronger is I love Greek yogurt. Greek yogurt is awesome. Chicken, turkey, eating lean ground beef, things like that, like salmon, tuna, eggs. Eggs are really great for you. That's kind of been a lot of my diet, eggs. My carbs have been brown rice and sweet potatoes. I've been incorporating carbs and I'm getting used to eating with the carbs now, but you still find you're fine tuned where you are. When I started, I was you know what, this was a little bit too much. So we brought it down and now I'm feeling better and I like it more. It's also too, when you're in a fitness journey, things are going to adjust. You start somewhere and be okay, this doesn't work for me. Let's make an adjustment here or there. Right. So it's I've been doing brown rice. We have oats, we have sweet potatoes, just good complex carbs. At the end of the day, you can still have your simple carbs sometimes, but I like to stay away from those because they just don't make me feel good. And I'm trying to focus on what makes me feel good. And honestly, that has just been the foods that I said. So the eggs, I love protein powder. I put protein powder and make so many different recipes with that. You can make smoothies, you make protein pancakes. It's so versatile because it's literally a powder. But those are some of the foods that have been making me feel good and giving me gains.
Now, what was that before? When you didn't have a structured diet plan, when you didn't have foods that would sit well with you, what was your energy before when you just didn't have a plan for your nutrition?
When I didn't have a plan for my nutrition, it was so wonky because the thing is too, I would like to throw together random things. At the end of the day, I didn't care about my macros. I did care about protein and I did care about calories, but I didn't care about carbs. I didn't care about fats. I didn't care about anything else like that. So I honestly found that a lot of the days my energy was quite low because again, I'm not eating any carbs and I'm running off of 1,200 calories and that's that's a toddler's diet, right? So that's not enough to sustain somebody, especially somebody who is in the gym trying to build muscle. So just not having any energy before, the structure made me feel unorganized. One thing about me is if life could work this way and life would give you, you have your goal and a structured plan with every single step to get towards that would be perfect. And that's why I also love coaching too, because I know that's something that I want. I like having that roadmap and that plan. So I want to help other girls with that too. And honestly, just receiving that has been amazing because I've gotten the structure. So I know that I'm on the right path. Whereas before when it was unorganized, it was my weight was going up one day, it was going down one day. I was feeling energized one day. I was feeling not energized the other day. So it's I didn't have any plan. And I also didn't know what foods worked with me and what foods didn't. So I didn't have any solid staples in my diet that I knew, okay, I eat this, I'm going to feel good, I'm going to have energy. I had no clue.
So Faith has done a really great job at narrowing the food down that works best for her. Now we're keeping it really structured, really simple, and just sticking to the same ingredients. And she mentions versatility. It's you can use the same ingredient 5 different ways and create 5 different recipes. And in terms of shopping and in terms of saving money, people think, oh, training nutrition is going to cost me a lot of money. Well, so does fucking getting medication when you're 30 or 40 years old. Think about all the money that people spend on subscription. Forget your Netflix subscription.
What is the fast food that you have every week, right?
Yeah.
That costs money. It's where are you putting your money? Where are you making your investments? I think it's important if people just break down their investments. Just what am I spending my money on? Okay, I've got this much on Netflix. I've got this much on my fast food. I've got this much on whatever it is I like to do that's wasting my time. It's wow. I do have the money to invest in myself. I do have, the money to buy that extra healthy food. At the end of the day, you can find cheap, food options as well too. It's just all about finding what works for your budget and cutting out the things that aren't benefiting you.
This applies to anyone. whether you're fucking 15, 35, 50, 60, everyone at the end of the day, we all are made up of the same molecules, the same energy, like all of it. We have 2 arms, we have 2 legs, we have 1 mouth, we have the same needs, food, shelter, warmth, love, pain. We have we're very, very similar. We're only about a millimeter difference between directions when we're born. And if you think about it, when it comes to the grand scheme of things, if we all followed the same diet plan, the world would be a better place, a way better place. A lot of people will be a lot healthier, more positivity. You know, Carl, he's from Haiti, right? So like when we went shopping the other day for groceries, he would just say, bro, like I don't shop at Trader Joe's, I don't shop at anywhere else but like organic markets. I'm like, we're really interesting.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, in Haiti, we just eat from the ground. And like honest, and he's probably one of the most positive people. Living with him is, I've met some positive people that front positivity online, and then you live with people and you're like, oh, like I get pissed off. I get pissed off a lot. So if something's not working, I'm like, for fuck's sakes, like can't someone just do their job properly?
Yeah.
Like, why is this dishwasher not working? Because we're at Airbnb.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, oh, they're probably busy, you know, like, you know, we've all had like I'm walking down the street, I feel like I'm getting stabbed. He's like, nah, he's just he's just hungry, you know, just looking for money, and like everything is just, and it's rubbing off on me. I was at the petrol station, and like this goes to touch on the point of like surrounding yourself with like really good positive people. You know, that's why I wanted to bring Faith in here, because she's like one of the most positive people we've had in this academy since this was born. So I'm so proud of her, and this is just the beginning, which is kind of scary.
Just
and
the
like
beginning.
yeah, I was at the petrol station, and there was like someone opened the door for me, right? So I walked in, and I said thank you, and he's like, oh, I thought you weren't gonna say thank you. I'm like, wow, people really fucking call you out for the smallest shit here. I'm like, nah, thank you, I appreciate that. I'm like, in Australia, it's like we're very nonchalant about things, so like it's like whatever, it's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, you're from Australia? I'm like, yeah, I'm Australian. He's like, cool, man, like that's the, and then we just made small talk. Anyway, he wanted to buy like some chips, and I'm like, I don't care. I'm not. I do enough judging online. So like he's like trying to buy some chips, and he went to buy some chips, and he couldn't afford it. So like he could afford it, but he didn't. He had to pay by card. He couldn't pay by cash. Mm-hmm. So he walked off. He's like, oh damn. So I'm like, let me pay for you. And everyone just stopped. Like, fuck, that's the nicest thing ever. Like, why would this random Australian guy pay for this guy's food? I think it's Carl. He's rubbing off of me. I don't care. Oh my! He wanted food. It was weird. Like the whole scenario is weird. I'm like, how do you not take card? Like, is this an Arizona Phoenix thing? How do you not take card? Like everywhere takes motherfucking card. Yeah. Like, cash. I'm like, what?
That makes no sense. But it's good. Like you're around positive people, and it just goes to show you, like the people that you surround yourself with, like it rubs off on you.
Yeah, 100%. You know, so I couldn't pay for him because he said he was gonna buy booze, and I'm like, look, I'm not gonna pay for your booze, man. Like, yeah, like that's all that. And everyone's like, fuck, that was so nice. Let me ask you. All right, let's leave people with some fucking really good, tangible, practical things that they can like take home. For someone that's listening to this podcast right now, who's been listening for a while, you know, but they just like, they want the positive energy, they want the good vibes, they want the inspiration, they want to feel good, you know. What would be the number one thing that you would say for someone that's like, they know fitness, but they haven't done fitness in a while? They've been sidetracked. Maybe they've had their heart broken. Maybe their loved ones just said, hey, you're fat, you're always going to be a loser. And that like derailed them. Maybe like they just got fired from their job. Maybe they just got into a car accident. Maybe they're on the bench press, hurt their shoulder for lifting too heavy. Now they're out of action. Maybe they've got dealt with this like broken foot injury since like 5 years ago, and they can't walk like properly. And they contemplate about going to the gym. What advice do you have for the people right now who've stopped or who are afraid to get started back on a fitness journey? What would you say?
Understand that like in anything that you do, you're going to face adversity. Like nothing's ever going to go perfectly. You're always going to face struggles. And if you're going through something and you're struggling, like that's okay. Like it's okay to struggle. We all struggle with stuff. We all have our setbacks. But it's about the people who push through the adversity that actually get the results they want. It's the people who use the heartbreak, who use the heartbreak. They use the loss of their job. They lose, you know, just honestly, the adversity and all, like they just use that as motivation to push through. At the end of the day, you can't fix the circumstance that you're in, but you can change the way that you react to it, and you can change the way that you hold yourself like in that situation. So if you're scared to like start a fitness journey because of surrounding things in your life, just understand that, you know what, it sucks, but at the end of the day, like you can't always change your scenario. You can only change the way that you react to it. So prioritize yourself. Okay. If you're struggling, one thing that you should be doing is prioritizing yourself. You're going through something hard. Understand that just merely sitting there and thinking about it and wanting it won't do anything. Like it's pointless. Okay. If you want to do something, get up and do it. Like just stop talking about it. Stop sitting around and like thinking about it. Get up and start doing it. Start making yourself a priority. Obviously, if you're going through these things, like these were high level things, or, you know, if something's like really down on you, like something that you really like cared about and it just went away, or just things like that. Like you lost your job, you lost a boyfriend or girlfriend. It's just like, start making yourself that priority. Okay. Now become upset if you don't reach your goals. Become upset if you don't put yourself first. Become upset if you're not moving in the right path to get to where you want to be, because you're going to struggle. But again, your actions determine your life. One thing I've been thinking of recently, like you're the main character in your own life. Okay. So stop living by other people. Stop living by other surrounding things that you can't affect. If you can't change it, either one, roll with it, ignore it, or just put the focus on yourself. That's all you can do. Okay. Just get into it and get started.
You heard it here. You heard it here first. And like, you want to be listening to people that are taking action, having faith, but also with the faith, implementing the steps that need to be implemented so it actually comes into fruition. You can't sit there and dream about it and eventually it'll come. Nothing comes. You got to put it into words and into action. So, Faith, I appreciate you so wholeheartedly. You know, you're a great joy. Every time I open up my Trainerize app and I look at you, you know, celebrating every fucking win, I'm like, she's going to go very far, you know? So I just want to say thank you and I appreciate you.
Of course. Thank you. I appreciate being here.
All right, guys, that is pretty much it from the Think Inspire podcast with your boy and Faith. We are out. Peace.
Peace.